Hi, friends, and welcome back to Journey to a Joyful Life. So, this weekend, my family and I took a trip to Longwood Gardens, and I was expecting to enjoy the lights and the plants, and instead, I actually walked away with a whole new insight about joy, in addition to enjoying the experience. They had the most stunning bonsai tree display. These small trees that have been tended to for decades and in some cases for generations. And as I was standing there looking at these stunning masterpieces, I realized that joy works the same way. It doesn't come all at once. It doesn't appear from some big dramatic events. It grows slowly, intentionally, and through tiny moments of care. So today, I wanted to share the lessons that these bonsai trees taught me and how it can help all of us cultivate a deeper joy in our everyday lives. Bonsai lesson number 1: small things become sacred when we tend to them. So, bonsai trees are typically a smaller version of what they're capable of being, and they're incredibly beautiful and intricate and significant. Each branch is shaped with intention, and every leaf is cared for, and much the same way about how our joy can be tended and cared for. Like joy journaling, taking the time to document those micro moments of joy throughout each day. Having the ability to stay in touch with our senses and enjoy all the things that are happening around us that we see and smell and hear and taste and touch. These small joys tend to become the foundation of a joyful life. Bonsai lesson number 2: growth takes time, and that's the point. So, bonsai trees cannot be rushed. They take decades to form their shape. And we often crave instant joy and instant progress in our lives. But in reality, real meaningful joy is built slowly through things like daily reflection and mindful choices, through things like rest and building our community around us. I want to invite each of you to release the pressure to be joyful right now and allow it to build over time with the small choices that you make, just as the bonsai trees develop into these beautiful outcomes over time. Bonsai tree lesson number 3: beauty comes from imperfection. Bonsai trees are particularly beautiful because of the quirks and the twists and the bends and the asymmetry. That's what makes them uniquely beautiful. This is very similar to when we think about self-acceptance. Joy doesn't come from fixing ourselves, but from loving ourselves exactly as we are. Imperfection doesn't actually block joy. It actually makes joy more possible when we're open to it. When we accept our own shape, our relationships can deepen. Bonsai lesson number 4: joy requires consistency, not intensity. Bonsai trees are shaped through gentle, repeated actions, not through dramatic, intense transformations. The same with joy. We can transform our lives through a minute of mindfulness, through writing down those 3 joys that you experienced each day in your journal, for taking one moment of awe to look out the window and see the beautiful snow that's built up on the trees and the branches all around me right now. One tiny act of kindness each day is another way to build this consistency over intensity. Small, consistent actions change the entire shape of our lives. And the last lesson, bonsai lesson number 5, you are allowed to slow down. Bonsai trees invite us to pause, notice, and experience them. They are living symbols of slowness. So I want to talk a little bit more about what that moment was like for me at Longwood Garden. So we ended up having to wait in a relatively long line to get into the bonsai exhibit. It was in a separate room in the conservatory, and it wasn't a problem to wait. I was with my family, we were enjoying time together, and we were in this beautiful conservatory, so it was not painful to stand in line and wait because we had so much to experience around us during that time. And as I slowed down, it was a reminder of what our nervous systems need. Those moments of calm, not rushing, and not giving in to impatience, but really just staying present and enjoying the wait, enjoying the line. I never thought that's something I would ever say. I used to always have so much trouble with waiting in lines and being so impatient. But it was lovely, and it was calm, and it was exactly what my nervous system was craving. Then once we got into the bonsai room, the lighting was dimmed and soft music was playing, and it was breathtaking. It encouraged you, the room encouraged you to stop and breathe and really just take in the beauty of these trees. An interesting contrast. So when we walked out of the conservatory, there was a bubble and light display that they call Spark. And it was so fun. And it inspired joy, but in a completely different way than the bonsai exhibit. The bonsai exhibit was peaceful and reflective, and the bubbles and the lights were childlike playfulness. I loved that contrast, that I was experiencing awe and joy, but in such interestingly different ways, back to back. So the bonsai exhibit overall inspired this sense of peacefulness, quiet, and reflection. Many of the trees had been shaped for over 80 years. Someone had been caring for these trees long before I was even born. This is a great reminder that joy isn't a someday thing. It is a daily tending. So here's what bonsai trees taught me this weekend. Joy isn't something we need to chase. It's something we need to shape. Little by little, moment by moment, choice by choice. And just like those trees, your joy doesn't need to be big and intense and huge to be beautiful. It just needs to be tended. If this message resonated with you, please give this video a like, maybe subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a slow, gentle reminder of their own beauty and growth. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What tiny joy did you experience today? Until next time, friends, keep tending your joy.